Good morning, beloveds, and welcome to Harmony Spiritual Center. My name is Reverend Pjae Stanley, and thank you for coming. We are Harmony Spiritual Center is a new thought center, and what that means is that we believe that God is all and is everything and is in all things. And as such, we are individualized expressions of the one love. And because we are individualized expressions of God, George, Spirit, whatever you call that, which is greater than yourself, because we are individualized experiences of that one love, we get to co-create our lives with the one love. And in co-creating our lives, what that means is that we have to use tools that we teach you, prayer and meditation. And prayer is very different in a new thought situation, and where we are simply claiming the good and expecting it to come into our lives and then release it and trust that God, Spirit, George, will bring that to us, because that is the law of the universe. And so that's what we believe. And we use prayer and meditation to help us clarify our thoughts. All prayers are answered. And if you're not getting the answer that you're looking for, it might be a possibility that it's not as clear as you think it is. And so we talk about all of those things here and make sure that you understand exactly how to co-create the life you're looking for. So what we do here is that we speak what we seek. We speak into the universe what we want to see from the universe. We use our minds, our thoughts, and our words. That is how we co-create our lives, by speaking the truth into the universe. So I'd like for you to set your intention today. Every Sunday I ask you to set your intention. Why are you here today? What would you like to get? And it doesn't have to be something that you hear from me. It doesn't make any difference, because if we're all individualized expressions of the one, then we are delivering the message in whatever way you need to hear it. Whether it's from a hug from someone here, whether when you speak to someone that's here, whether you leave a comment, whether you hear something from myself or for someone else, or from the music, it doesn't matter. But I ask you to set your intention. That is a powerful tool to set your intention. And when you set it, you get it. Set it and get it. That's what I'm asking you to do today. So that's it. That's what we're going to do. What is it? Why are you here? And what do you want to get? So last week we had a talk by David McMurray. Something strange is happening to me. Now, I don't know what his point may have been, but I know what the takeaway is. And that's really the thing, isn't it? Because I have a reason for writing the talk. That's my reason. What you get from the talk is yours. Is yours to get. This is why you set the intention. So the takeaway that I got from David's talk last week is simply that no matter what, love is here to stay. And love is our highest synonym for God. Unconditional love. And no matter what your life looked like, I can assure you that love is always here with you. That is the truth. And that's what we want to talk about. So my talk today is to show up for your life. Show up for your life. And those seem like, straightforward words. They seem self-evident. So I just simply saying them, show up for your life. But it's interesting because I was at a gathering, a party, with some friends of mine a couple of weeks ago. And a young lady sat next to me and she said, "PJ, what does it mean to show up in your life?" And I had to think about that for a second, because as I had said, I thought it was self-evident and that the words themselves say what it means. But clearly, if someone's asking me, what did I mean? It wasn't as self-evident as I thought it was. So what did I need to do to make that clear? And that's what this talk is today. So I want to go from thinking that I know what I'm sharing with you, and maybe taking it a step further and try to share some things that will make it more self-evident for you. So the reason for this talk, my point today, and you get whatever point you get out of it, but my point is for you to understand and to know that nothing stays the same. Nothing. And that's one of the reasons why we always talk about, I don't know if you've always talked about it, if you've heard, but I've heard much of my life that you can never go home And it's not because home isn't there. It's because it isn't what you remember. It isn't the same. People move on, things change, things grow and they recede, all kinds. So you can never go back to what it was. And we are now in the, hopefully, kind of more or less, the post-COVID era. So we still have it, but it's not as difficult to get over it as it was at the beginning. And some people didn't get over it. And so now we're into this place where with the shots and the boosters and the mask and all the things that we're doing, we can get over it, like getting over the flu. But we cannot go back to the way life was post-COVID. Because post-COVID, all of you would be in this room. There wasn't this where we had these opportunities to work remote. I wouldn't be delivering this message to you remotely. But I get to do that because we know now that that works. So we can't go back. We can never go back. And so I want you to know this, that nothing stays the same. We as human beings, as individualized expressions of God, we are either growing or we're shrinking. That is it. Those are the two choices. Nothing stays the same. We cannot stand still. And we move forward on purpose, or we move backwards because of inattention to what we're doing. We just kind of try to put our lives into autopilot, and that doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. We really must pay attention to where it is we want to go, who we say we are, and then make plans and demands on the universe to get there. So the story that I'm telling you about my friend saying that, what do you mean by that? What does it mean to show up? And then I had this inner voice that's going, what is she talking about? How does she not understand that? But I had to wake up and go, okay, she doesn't understand it, so let's explain it. So I came up with 3 points. You guys who have heard me speak before know I like to have points, and generally it grows, but I'm sticking possibly to 3 points today. The first point, I won't give you all 3, but I'll come back and talk about each one of them. The first point for showing up in your life is be present for your loved ones. To show up in your life means to be present for your loved ones. And when we were at this gathering where someone asked me, what does it mean to show up? I actually used that as an example. Right now, tonight, we are showing up for our friend and celebrating with her. So that's a simple example of what showing up means. So be present for your loved ones is number 1. Number 2, be in this moment with life. So many of us, even right now as we're sitting here talking and I'm explaining to you what I think the 3 points of showing up are, you could be looking out the window, looking out the door, seeing who's walking down the mall, listening to music, maybe seeing someone get up and go to the bathroom. It's actually fairly difficult to stay completely present, but if your focus and if your intention is to be present, you'll mostly be present where you are. And so life is happening in the moment, and when you scatter and look off and do other things, you're not in the moment and enjoying the person, the people, the places, whatever it is you're doing. So number 1, be present for your loved ones. Number 2, be in the moment with life. And number 3, be present for your life and your values. And I'll explain what all those 3 mean. So the first story I want to tell you is about the number perfect thing, is be present for your loved ones. So all of you, well, many of you, I don't know if all of you, but many of you know that I was in Mexico last week with my family. So my son, his wife, daughters, my granddaughter, my sister, my brother-in-law, all of us, there were 9 of us. And we were in this wonderful home in Mexico, just having a fabulous time. And when we have some time and I see you individually, I'll share with you and show you pictures. Many of you may have seen some of the pictures on Facebook. But anyway, we were there and so many wonderful things happened. Anyway, on the last evening that I was there, it was just the last morning, and I was just sitting on my bed in my room, just looking out the window at the wonderful fauna that was there and the birds flying around and all of that. And my granddaughter, she's in her 30s, and she knocked on my door. She just came in to sit with me and sat on the other bed. And she said, what are you doing? She said, you just seem so peaceful. I said, yeah, I'm just sitting here and just enjoying the room, enjoying the view. And she said to me, she said, well, what are you doing now? What are you working on? And I said, well, I want to write a book. When I finished my doctorate, I wanted to write a book about the power of the transforming power of unconditional love. And that's a much bigger book, and it's not quite the book that I want to write at this point. At this point, what I want to do is write a how-to book. And so what I was thinking about was writing a book, because I'm very good at helping people get to clarity. A lot of times we don't know exactly what it is we want to do. We don't know how we're stumbling. We don't know what the next step is. And I'm actually very good at help myself and helping others to get to that point. So I said, well, I want to write a book about that, but I'm going to go ahead and start doing some coaching and actually create a class. Because from the class and the coaching, I will find out what's really working and not what I think works, and then write a book about that. And she said, "Oh, I want to be your first. I want to be your coach." And so I want you to be my coach. And I said, really? Because you seem like you have your life so together, but I definitely would love to do that with you. So what happens? Back to step number 1, be present for your loved ones. I was there, and we sat down, and we took out our phones, and we got our calendar, and we said right then and there, when she said, I want to do it, this is how you're present for your loved ones. We calendared it, and we said, okay, what days and times work best for you? We settled on Mondays and a time on Mondays, and we put it in the calendar. Your calendar is your best friend for keeping your life moving forward the way that you say you want it to move forward. And we talked about a lot of this when it comes to the beginning of the year, and what are we declaring for the year? What do we want to see come into our lives? And whatever your steps are, whatever is yours to do, you can actually calendar it. So one of mine is being more present, being there, showing up for my family. And so I calendar a lot of things. So this is the difference. When you are just being friendly and someone says, hey, we should get together, here's a friendly response. Yes, let's do that. Let's get together sometime. And there's actually no action item that's done. And so like David said last week in his talk, he said, wasn't 1990 just 30 years ago? Oh, no, what did you say, 1970? I'm sorry, he said, wasn't 1970 just 30 years ago? It just feels like time goes by so fast. And it's hard to believe that we're in 2022 when it seems like it's just been 1970. And that's the way life is going to blow by. And so when we calendar it, we make sure, and we're on purpose. Because again, we are either shrinking or we're growing, and we move forward on purpose, or we move backwards via inattention. And so your calendaring your friends, calendaring your family, saying what you want to do and putting that in there is one of the ways, one of the tools we get to use to be on purpose and present in our lives for our loved ones. So the second one that I talked about is being in the moment with life. Being in the moment with life. And this is what that looks like. So I'm very transparent, and I share some things with you, and I only share what has been told to me in a public arena so that I feel that's okay to kind of talk about because it's been talked about. So you all know that my son and daughter-in-law have been having some marital problems, and who doesn't? They've been married for 18 years, almost 20 years. And so there's some things going on. They're working on it. They're doing all the things that they're supposed to do, and they're working very hard to make sure that their marriage continues moving forward in a positive way, in a way that they both want it to move forward. So I was talking with her, and she asked the question, and this is where being number 2, and that is being present in that moment with life. And she asked me, she said, Pjae, what do you think? How do you think we're doing? We, meaning her and Jonathan. Do you think that he's really going to make the changes? Listening deeply when you're here doing number 2 and being present in this moment with your life, you're listening deeply, you're responding authentically, you're being there authentically and responding truthfully. And when you're listening deeply, you hear the real question. The question wasn't, how do you think we're doing? Do you think that John's really going to make the changes, that we can do that? That's not the real question. What's the real question you're asking? The real question she's asking, because I know her heart and I know how hurt she is. Her real question is, do you think I'm making a fool out of myself? Do you think I should really be here, still here? Do you think this is really worth the effort? Because it's a big effort. And so the only answer I could give her is this. I don't know if it's going to work. What I do know is that the both of you are working very, very hard. That my son is sharing things with you and with me he has never, ever shared before. And I know that that is new and that is different. And that he is in earnest in trying to make this work because he loves you. And he has shared that with me. So what's the long term? I don't know. But what's happening right now is that I think you both are doing the right thing. And you're working hard to save your marriage because you both love each other. That's a true answer. And so I'm right there with her, not giving her any fake answers, not giving her any fake hope, giving her the true hope that I could see. And I don't know that it's true for her or true. I'm talking about my truth. Being in the moment. That is number 3. Number 2, be in the moment with life. So number 1, I want to say this over and over again because 3s are 3 very simple ideas. But how do you do it? And so I'm explaining how to do it with the stories I'm telling. The first one is to be present for your loved ones. This again is 3 points on how to show up. How to show up for your life. Number 1, be present for your loved ones. Number 2, be in the moment with life. And so whatever you're doing, whoever you're speaking with, whatever is going on, be present in that moment. And I can tell you that when I'm sharing something, when I'm talking with someone, I have my girlfriends come over, we have lots of deep talks. My phone gets turned off. My television gets turned off. I'll actually even turn off the television in my friend's home. If I walk in someone's home, my sister's home or whatever, and we're there to talk but their TV is on, I'll either get up and turn it off or ask them to please turn it off because I want to be here present with you. And that's what that looks like. That's what that's looked like. So be in the moment with your life. And the third and final thing is be present for your life and your values. And this is what we talk about at the very beginning of the year. In January, we don't set goals and new thoughts. Certainly at Harmony Spiritual Center, we don't set goals in January and New Year's resolutions. What we do is we declare our life and we make demands on the universe because the universe is abundant. The universe is abundant, but a demand must be made if you want to get something from the universe, if you want to receive, if you want things in your life, make a demand on the universe. And that's what we do here. So in the beginning of the year, for me, I make a vision board. I just have words and little pictures and whatever they are. I have a word that I use that pulls me through the year, and I also have a theme for my vision board, for what the theme is for the year. So what we want to do is, the reason why we do a vision board or write it down in some way. A vision board may not be what works for you, and that's okay. I'm not advocating a vision board, but I am advocating to put it down. When it goes from here, just words in your head, to here out where you're speaking it to someone, to writing it down and putting it up where you get to see it. Here's what it looks like. So if I say that I want to write a book, which I have, and I've declared it to my friends, and I'm declaring it to you, I do want to write a book. It's also on my vision board. So when I am thinking about things that I want to get involved in, because there's many, many things, the universe is abundant. There's many things we can get involved in, but are those things that I'm getting involved in going to help me with what I say I want to do, which is be more present for the people that I love, for my spiritual tribe, which is Harmony Spiritual Center, for my friends. That's what's on my vision board. So if I'm going to get involved in something, let's say someone, and this did happen, someone asked me to audition for a play, to take a part in a play. Sounds wonderful. I love it. It would be so exciting. But when I looked at my vision board, acting in a play was not on my vision board. And that time that it takes, the rehearsal, the learning, the actual nights of being and doing the play, that takes away from the things I say I want to get done by the end of the year. So I said no to that. I declined. So again, number 3 is being present for your values and your life, is looking at your vision board, however, wherever you have the words written down, whether it's on a piece of paper, in your journal, whatever, and looking at it from time to time to say, is this who I said I want to be? And if it's not, go ahead and take it off the board, because sometimes you think that this is something you want to do, but as you get through the, you're like, it's actually, it doesn't interest me. Go ahead and take it off, so it doesn't take up space in your mind, and you start to feel bad. Oh, I didn't get that done. I didn't get that done. You may not need to get it done this year. So take it back off. It's not a problem. Just, these are the things that you say you want, and that's all we're doing. So that's what I want to talk about. What are you declaring in being present for your life, turning your principles, which we know that whatever we claim and what we declare, there are things that are ours to do, that we must do. It isn't like you write it down and then it's going to show up on your front door. I'm looking at my door. You know what I'm looking at, but I'm in my living room. There's a front door there. It's not going to just show up. So if you say, I want to be a writer, I want to write a book, then what would obviously be the thing you should be doing? A certain amount of time during the year, during the week, sit down and start writing, right? I'm a writer, so I should sit down and write. I love cooking, or I want to start learning how to cook better, to make better meals, so probably should think about looking up some recipes, getting some pots and pans, maybe if I don't have anything, whatever the equipment might be, and schedule maybe once a week or once on the weekend or whatever, trying a new meal out. You understand? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm saying that whatever it is that you have decided you want to do, there is some reason why you've decided to do that. And there is something one thing that you know to do. Do the one thing. You don't need to know the full steps, just the one thing. Just the one thing. So that's all I want to talk to you about today, is that we take action steps to move our demands on the universe into a manifestation from the universe. So we speak what we seek, and writing it down is speaking what we seek, and then discovering what's ours to do, what's ours to do next. We do that, the very next thing will be revealed to you. It will. That's the way the universe works. So what I want to conclude and what I want to say, what the point of this talk is, 2 things. I'm going to bring back up what David said, because it's so important. No matter what happens, no matter what, love is here to stay. And whatever it is you want to do, whatever demands you want to make in your life, show up for it. Show up for your life by 1, being present with your loved ones, if that's what you say is important. But for me it is, so that's my first step. Be present with your loved ones, be in the moment with your life, and be present for your life and your values. Whatever it is you've put on your vision board or written in your journal that you want and that is of value to you. I want to leave you with this last comment and this last statement from Brene Brown. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.